At first, it looked like just another glamorous morning in Manhattan, until the cameras began to swarm like a storm. Gigi Hadid had stepped out of her building, only to realize her life was no longer her own. What followed next wasn't fashion, it was fear. Few people know that behind her effortless smile, there were nights she slept with the lights on because of threats sent to her home. Few knew that her rise to fame triggered a chain of events she never saw coming. Secret betrayals, hidden controversies, and a media machine hungry for her downfall. Most fans only saw the photos, but inside the world of Gigi Hadid, something far darker was unfolding. And the truth begins in a place no one expected. This is the untold story of Gigi Hadid, how she went from a shy California girl to a global supermodel and eventually became a target for the same media empire that once celebrated her. This documentary uncovers rare facts, hidden struggles, quiet battles, and moments she never spoke about publicly. What shaped her? What broke her? And what shocked even the people closest to her? The truth is far bigger than anyone imagines, and far more painful. The childhood no one talks about. Before the runways and the flashing lights, Gigi Hadid grew up in a home that looked perfect from the outside. But few know that her early years were marked by medical challenges that nearly halted her dreams before they began. As a preteen, Gigi was diagnosed with a condition that affected her energy levels, muscle strength, and body function, something she hid from the world for years. Doctors told her she needed to slow down, but she pushed harder. Here's the part nobody talks about. Her very first modeling break as a child almost didn't happen because she was too shy to even face the camera. But this inner battle was just the beginning, the pressure behind the perfect image. When Gigi entered the fashion world professionally, she had no idea she would become the center of a battle she never asked for. Designers wanted her face, brands wanted her influence, critics wanted her out. She was labeled too commercial, too curvy, and too American for high fashion. Backstage, some executives whispered that she would never make it in Paris. But what happened next stunned everyone. Gigi used every insult as fuel. Her breakthrough runway moment wasn't planned. It happened during a show where a model dropped out last minute, and Gigi stepped in, delivering a walk that editors still call electric. But success attracts shadows. The moment fame turned into a weapon. Gigi's rising fame became a double-edged sword. Every outfit she wore, every expression she made, every person she stood beside became headlines. One incident changed her relationship with fame forever. During Fashion Week in Milan, a stranger, later identified as a prank infiltrator, grabbed her without permission. The cameras captured everything except her terror. What they didn't show was how she froze for hours afterward, scared that the same thing could happen again. That moment revealed something darker. Gigi Hadid was no longer a person. She had become a target, and the world was watching the secret struggles behind the camera. Behind the glamorous campaigns, Gigi was battling something invisible, an illness that affected her weight and energy. She quietly visited specialists across Europe, while tabloids attacked her for being too thin one month and too healthy the next. Few people know that she filmed major campaigns while fighting dizziness and muscle pain, but she refused to step back. What happened next exposed the ruthless side of the industry. Editors began using her illness as a headline weapon, and that was only the start. The friendship that changed her life and then broke it. At the height of her career, Gigi formed a close bond with someone who became central to her public life. They created trends together, walked runways together, and influenced millions. But one unexpected scandal involving this friend suddenly dragged Gigi into controversy she had nothing to do with. Despite being innocent, she was blamed simply because her name was attached. Here's the part nobody talks about. This betrayal turned Gigi from America's sweetheart into the media's favorite target overnight, and the headlines only got harsher. The relationship that exploded into headlines. When Gigi started dating someone who was already media famous, the internet turned their private life into a public circus. Every argument became a breakup rumor. Every smile became a secret engagement clue. But the most shocking part was still hidden. There was an incident, quiet, private, personal, that got twisted into one of the biggest controversies in her career. She was pushed into a narrative she didn't control, and the truth got buried under assumption, The comeback no one saw coming. Most people didn't know that while the world attacked her, Gigi was secretly planning her next move. She took classes. She studied business. She began designing clothing in private studio spaces at night. When she returned, she came back not just as a model, but as a creative force shaping campaigns, producing shoots, and launching successful projects. Her comeback wasn't loud. It was strategic, calculated, and powerful. But the biggest twist was still ahead. So headlines were built around her deliberately. Stories involving her were exaggerated on purpose. Even unrelated controversies had her name inserted just to boost engagement. She wasn't just a star, she was a tool, a digital goldmine. For almost 2 years, Gigi Hadid was one of the top 3 most profitable, click-driven personalities in the fashion world. She didn't fall into the media's trap. She was pushed into it. That was the real turning point. Today, Gigi Hadid stands not just as a supermodel, but as a survivor of fame's darkest side. She rebuilt her career, protected her family, and reclaimed her narrative in a world that tried to twist it. Her story isn't about glamour. It's about resilience. It's about fighting back when the world tries to define you. And in the end, Gigi proves something powerful. Even when the media turns you into a target, a strong mind can turn the spotlight into armor.